Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network for tonight's presentation of Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from Patriot Championship Wrestling. We are in the Philadelphia Civic Center here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with an exciting show lined up for you tonight, and we've already got some dignitaries in the chat room. Carl Zilla, the most creative man in the Filsinger Games community, just cranking out help stuff left and right. And also Carl Zilla was the man who applied the design to the Filsinger Legends of Wrestling Foreign Object and Out of the Ring cards. So thank you, Carl Zilla, for all of your magnificent contributions. Frank Wainscott is here, and D. Scott Howard is with us in the chat room. It has been a couple weeks since I have been on the channel. Here is Derek Bauman. Everybody is lining up tonight to get into the Civic Center for tonight's action. I was actually out of town last week enjoying some family time out in West Virginia with my sisters. And now we are back in the Dave Cave and ready for action. Our main event tonight will be a rematch for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship as the newly crowned champion Buddy Rogers defends against the former champion Bob Backlund. Looking forward to that match with great anticipation. Now, before we came to air, we started the show with a match between Vader, accompanied by new manager Percy Pringle III, as he took on Fit Finley. And this match was a wild one. Back and forth they went. The brawl spilled out to the arena floor, and Finley was disqualified for shoving the referee. The poor ref was just doing his job, trying to get the action back into the ring. Neither Vader nor Finley were particularly interested in going back to the ring. And it was Finley who earned the disqualification, and Vader was declared the victor. However, after that match, it was Vader who conferred with his manager, Percy Pringle, and offered Finley a rematch. So there will be a rematch between Vader and Finley. It will be a no disqualification match that will take place at our September pay-per-view. And if Finley can win that match, he'll get a contract to join Team Vader and wrestle alongside the forces of Percy Pringle. So interesting fallout from the first match of the night. Our second contest saw Bryan Danielson pick up the pinfall victory over Killer Kowalski by way of the Dragon Suplex. Eddie Gilbert made his appearance at ringside and attempted to interfere on the behalf of Kowalski, but Danielson survived that attempt and went on to victory. Things for Kowalski and Gilbert have not been going well as a unit. They were already dismissed from James J. Dillon Enterprises for failure to produce any meaningful results. We'll see Eddie Gilbert in action later tonight in a no disqualification grudge match against Ricky Steamboat, and we'll see presumably Killer Kowalski at ringside for that bout. But the saga continues between Eddie Gilbert and Killer Kowalski. Next, we saw the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, with a victory over the original Midnight Express of Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey. Shelley picking up the win after a double team made in Detroit maneuver put Condrey down for the 3 count. And just before we came to air, it was the one and only Kurt Angle picking up a victory in singles competition over the Spoiler. And we'll hear more about Kurt Angle as the broadcast progresses. But with that, we are ready to jump into tonight's action. Our first contest tonight will be a singles contest. The following contest will be one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect in this bout. Introducing first from Robbinsdale, Minnesota. He stands at 6'4" and weighs in at 246 pounds. This is the ravishing one, Rick Rude. And his opponent comes to you from Kansas City, Missouri. He stands at 6'1" and weighs 268 pounds. This is Harley Race. So Harley Race and ravishing Rick Rude squaring off in this next match. Rude with the height advantage, both men equal on the power scale. Rude with the agility advantage. This match is significant, as the winner of this match will take a step forward in the rankings and earn a #1 contenders match against Kurt Angle. So Angle has already qualified for a #1 contenders match. He will face the winner of this match for a shot at the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. So Race and Rude are ready to rumble, and it is Rick Rude who wins the opening initiative roll. And Rude starts off with a big knee lift to the midsection, but Harley stands his ground. Rude comes back with an attempt at a test of strength, and this time it is Harley who takes control in the test of strength. And Harley pulls Rude into a side headlock. Harley now in control with a headlock and goes with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes ravishing Rick Rude, and on a roll of 4. It is Race who charges into the corner with a running shoulder dive, but Rude moves out of the way, and Race tumbles out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And now on the arena floor, it is a big brawl that is won by Rick Rude on the floor, as he takes a whack at Harley Race with a foreign object. And what might that foreign object be? Thanks to Carl Zilla, we have the answer right here in the palm of our hands. As I prepare my foreign object card deck, and we come up with a broom. How about that? Somebody left a broom laying at ringside, probably cleaning up from the previous match, and Rick Rude just took that broom and gave Harley Race a whack. He may be disqualified here. He will not be disqualified. And the match continues now with Rude in control, and Rude is going to go up for a top rope knee drop. This is a choice H maneuver. We'll use the death jump chart for this. And on a roll of 8, it is Rude who nails the top rope knee drop onto the fallen Harley Race. So Harley Race has already taken a broomstick to the side of the head and a top rope knee drop. And now it is Race trying to attempt to leave the ring. Rude is not going to let that happen. And instead, Rude with a double thrust to the throat stuns Harley. Harley comes back. Harley goes for a spinning neckbreaker and just dumps Rude on the back of his head on the canvas. And just like that, Harley Race with the reversal has taken control. Race now moves in and locks on the Indian Deathlock. This is a painful maneuver. He is not going to be able to extract a submission here as Rude makes his way to the ropes. But Race now firmly in control, and it is Race now who pitches Rude out of the ring and down to the arena floor. The arena floor is much to the advantage of Harley Race in this situation. He is an A-rated performer outside the ring. Rude is a B. But on a roll of 5, it is Rick Rude who wins the brawl on the arena floor. And how did he do that? He did that by slamming the head of Harley Race into the ring post. We may see a disqualification here. But on a roll of 5, it's a possibility. On a roll of 10, Rude survives the second roll, and the match continues with Rude now back in control after Harley Race had his head slammed into the ring post. And now it is Rude going to take action back into the ring and drop Harley with a swinging neckbreaker of his own. Down goes Harley, and now Harley will roll out of the ring. Will we see shenanigans on the arena floor? We will not see those yet. And instead, on a roll of 9, it is Harley Race having to make that helpless crawl back into the ring where Rick Rude is waiting. Rude doing well against Harley Race in this match. And now Rude with a rude awakening goes for the cover. The pin roll here is 4 or lower. And on a roll of 5, he almost got him. Race just kicked out at the count of 2. And the match continues with Rude still in control. Rude now is going to go to the camel clutch. That's not his best move in this situation. And Harley, in fact, is able to power his way out of the camel clutch. And it's Harley now who rolls that over and reverses it into another Indian deathlock. Nice reversal by Harley Race. As Rude once again is forced to struggle his way over to the ropes for the Indian deathlock to be broken. Rude slow to get to his feet. Harley's on him. Harley's got him up for a pile driver and down to the canvas hard. Harley's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 6, it is Rude who is able to kick out. Race now in control after the pile driver. He's going to do the pile driver again. This time the pin roll is 5 or lower, and on a roll of snake eyes, he got him. So just like that, 2 pile drivers from Harley Race. And it is Rick Rude tasting defeat. And Harley Race is your winner. And it will be Harley Race versus Kurt Angle for a #1 contenders match and a shot at the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. As we say hello to referee James Lawrence III, along with Salvador America. Lots of outstanding representatives of the community here in the Dave Cave for tonight's wrestling action. As we thank you all for tuning in. Those of you who follow the Heartland closely may remember that it was originally scheduled to be Harley Race versus Kurt Angle in a #1 contenders match before Buddy Rogers stuck his nose in and convinced Patriot Championship Wrestling Commissioner Torrie Wilson to make that a 3-way dance. Rogers won the 3-way dance and went on to win the Heartland Heavyweight, the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. As a result of that victory, he'll be defending that title here tonight in Philadelphia against the former champion Bob Backlund. And the winner of that match will be your champion and will face the winner of that #1 contenders match, Harley Race, against Kurt Angle. So it comes back around full circle. Harley Race and Kurt Angle will square off with a title shot on the line, just as it was supposed to happen about 2 months ago before Buddy Rogers stuck his nose in, played the politics, and successfully maneuvered that into a reign as Patriot Heavyweight Champion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with no disqualification and no time limit. This is a no disqualification grudge match. Introducing first, hailing from Lexington, Tennessee, he stands at 5'10" and weighs in at 222 pounds. This is Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, and Gilbert accompanied to the ring by Killer Kowalski, his erstwhile partner in crime. And his opponent from Honolulu, Hawaii, stands also at 5'10", weighs in at 237 pounds. This is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So Steamboat versus Gilbert here in Philadelphia. And as we set up the match for the next contest, one thing I did want to bring up is that since our last show a couple weeks ago, we did get our presumably internet fixed. The cable company came. They ran a fresh wire from the box to the house, and that should take care of the crashes that we had been experiencing in previous weeks. So let me know if the connection is doing well. Those of you who are in the chat room, as we carry on with our next contest, Ricky Steamboat facing off against Eddie Gilbert. And for this match, it will be the grudge match dice. in play. And, oh, the opening initiative roll is tied. And that means we are going to the book. We are going to the face to the mat highlight center booklet to determine what will happen as a result of the tie on the opening roll. It's going to be a wild card result from the hardcore chart, and it will be Eddie Gilbert rolling on the chart. The roll is 4-4. Is he helped? Yes, indeed, he is helped. Killer Kowalski is at ringside. And it is Kowalski who distracts and illegally disables Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, allowing Gilbert to repeatedly deliver repeated brutal blows. And that is going to mean that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat will start off with a token of fatigue, and Eddie Gilbert will be in control as a result of the pre-match attack by Killer Kowalski. So things looking good for Kowalski and Steamboat. And now he is going to go right to the finisher is Gilbert. He is going to use the hot shot. That's a +1 finisher. The pin roll here is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 3, he got it. So just like that, Eddie Gilbert with a victory over Ricky the Dragon Steamboat after outside interference from Killer Kowalski. Kowalski pays his dividends, and Steamboat hits the hot shot to secure the victory for his over Ricky the Dragon Steamboat here tonight in Philadelphia. I'm just making some notes here. Kowalski interference and a hot shot by Eddie Gilbert, and just like that, Steamboat is down for the 3 count. And after a gut check roll of 1, there will be no further beatdown on Steamboat. Gilbert and Kowalski are simply going to celebrate, and there will also be no outside assistance coming to help Ricky Steamboat. So Gilbert and Kowalski get over here tonight, and presumably their partnership will continue moving forward after Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is taken down and tastes defeat here in Philadelphia. So, wow, stunning result in that match. Steamboat defeated Kowalski last month in Baltimore, but was the victim of a 2-on-1 beatdown by Gilbert and Kowalski. And tonight it is Steamboat taking another beating at the hands of Gilbert and Kowalski, with really no one coming to his defense. So Gilbert and Kowalski get the victory, and they get to strut around proudly, leaving the ring as the fans boo, including Salvador America, who proclaims, "What a shock right there." What a shock indeed. But fans, that will take us to our next contest. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a #1 contenders match for the Patriot Tag Team Championship. And of course, your Patriot Tag Team Champions are currently the Fantastics, the team of Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, and that team has been on fire. The Fantastics have shot up the rankings, and they are now the #1, or they are now in line for a #1 contenders shot at the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Next week on the channel, it will be the Fantastics taking on the Midnight Express, and the winners of that match will get a world title match. This match tonight is to see who will become the #1 contenders to the Fantastics. And if the Fantastics do go on to win the World Tag Team Championship, then whoever wins this match will have the catbird seat at replacing the Fantastics as champions. And with that, we will introduce tonight's competitors. Team number 1 comes to you from Sydney, Australia at a total combined weight of 468 pounds. This is Roy Heffernan and Al Costello, collectively known as the Fabulous Kangaroos. So the Fabulous Kangaroos coming to ringside, not being well received by the fans. They're not a popular team, especially compared to their opponents. Coming to the ring now at a total combined weight of 469 pounds, collectively known as the British Bulldogs. From Manchester, England, the Dynamite Kid, and his partner from Leeds, England, is Davey Boy Smith. So Davey Boy and Dynamite to take on Costello and Heffernan. This should be a very competitive match. Two very skilled and accomplished teams squaring off. Bulldogs versus Kangaroos. So mammals everywhere. And it will be Dynamite Kid starting things off here against Al Costello as this match is about to get underway. A main event anywhere in the world, says Salvador America. And it is Dynamite Kid who takes the opening initiative role, and he comes out and tries to snapmare Costello down to the mat. Costello ducks out of that one with a nice reversal, and it is Costello who ducks behind Dynamite and clamps on a sleeper hold. Sleeper hold applied by Costello. Dynamite Kid shoves him away and is able to escape that, but Costello stays on him and goes right back to the sleeper hold for a second time. Costello trying for a quick submission here on Dynamite Kid, and now he is going to go for the move known as the Greek Cross. This is a choice F maneuver. And on a choice F, we're going to require a roll of 7 or lower to complete this. And on a roll of 4, the move is successfully completed by Al Costello. And Dynamite Kid slow to get to his feet after the Greek Cross. Here's a tag to Heffernan and a double team attempt by the Aussies. And on a roll of 7, it is a running forearm smash delivered by Roy Heffernan to the Dynamite Kid. Heffernan now the legal man in the ring and in control. Heffernan tries to stretch out Dynamite with a surfboard. Dynamite works his way free of that and is finally able to get out and make the tag to Davey Boy Smith. Davey Boy and Heffernan now your legal men in the ring. And it is Davey attempting the side headlock. Catches the side headlock. Tries to wear down Heffernan with that move. And Davey now adds a forearm smash to the side of the ribcage of Heffernan that stuns Heffernan. Davey Boy in control. Whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Heffernan. But on a roll of 6, it is Heffernan who lifts a knee to the head of a charging Davey Boy Smith. Davey Boy stunned, and Heffernan now in control. Heffernan is going to try for the monkey flip on a roll of 7 or lower, and he gets him up, over, and down to the canvas hard. And Davey Boy springs back up to his feet. Nice nip up by Davey Boy. Coming right back at Heffernan after the monkey flip. And it is Davey Boy again with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Heffernan. And this time it is a running clothesline attempted by Davey Boy. Heffernan gets out of the way of that. Davey Boy crashes to the turnbuckle. Heffernan rolls him up for the pinfall. The roll is 3 or lower. And on a roll of 5, it is Davey Boy able to kick out. Nice alert move there by Heffernan to take advantage of the over-aggressive move there by Davey Boy. Heffernan now in control. And it is Heffernan who is going to go up now for a death jump. And on a roll of 6, it is Heffernan who comes off the top turnbuckle and nails Davey Boy with a flying clothesline off the top. And Davey Boy is down. Heffernan now in control. Heffernan going for the boomerang. That's a +3 tag maneuver. The pin roll here is 7 or lower. Dynamite Kid's going to have to make the pin attempt, the pin save attempt. He's not able to get there. And on a count of 7 or lower, we're going to have a victory right here. And on a roll of 3, he got him. So just like that, the fabulous Kangaroos, using their double team tactics, score the pinfall over Davy Boy Smith as Heffernan pins Davy after the boomerang. That's a very dangerous tag team move executed by the Kangaroos, which in this case has brought them to victory and brought them to a title match against the Patriots Tag Team Champions, whoever that may be. Presumably the Fantastics, depending on the outcome of their NWA title match that may be coming down the pike. The Kangaroos previously did hold the Patriot Tag Team titles, which they captured back in August of 2022, and held those belts for about 6 months. And now they have a chance to regain those titles either against the Fantastics or against another contender to be named later, should the Fantastics move on to capture the World Tag titles. All right, so another exciting but quick match. We've had 3 very quick matches here tonight, as the fabulous Kangaroos have earned another shot at the Patriot Tag Team Champions. And that brings us now to our true main event of the evening. And this should be a dandy. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is your main event of the evening. It is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This match is for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger. He stands at 6'1", weighs in at 234 pounds. Hailing from Princeton, Minnesota, this is Bob Backlund. So Bob Backlund headed down to the ring. His eyes are focused, and he is determined to regain the title from his opponent, who is your reigning and defending Patriot Heavyweight Champion. He stands at 227 pounds. He stands at 6'1" and weighs in at 227 pounds. Hailing from Camden, New Jersey, this is your Patriot Heavyweight Champion, the one and only Buddy Rogers. So Buddy Rogers against Bob Backlund for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship here in Philadelphia. And now we get our championship dice into play for this. Buddy Rogers, the champion, will be represented by the white fatigue die and the gray-colored six-sider. Backlund with the as the challenger is represented in the darker colors, and it is Buddy Rogers who wins the opening initiative roll. They come together in the center of the ring, and Rogers with an arrogant slap and a strut around the ring. The fans here in Philadelphia not liking that. Backlund not liking that either. Rogers turns and squares up again, and this time takes Bob Backlund up, over, and down to the canvas with a hip toss off the opening lockup. Very nicely done by Rogers. Rogers with equal agility rating to Backlund. Backlund does have the power advantage. And as they come together again in the center of the ring, it is another hip toss executed by Rogers. Backlund again clicking to his feet. Rogers is on him. Rogers tries for a forearm uppercut. That's a power move. And control goes over to Bob Backlund, the more powerful of the two men. Here's Backlund with a whip to the ropes. He's got that mechanic where he can reverse this into a rolling back bridge on a roll of 10 to 12, and he got it on a roll of 10. A pin attempt here. The pin roll is only a 1, so Rogers kicks out of that. But Backlund has reversed the momentum here with that nice rolling back bridge, and that puts Backlund in control. Backlund now with an underhook suplex takes Rogers over and down to the canvas. Backlund getting to his feet, Rogers getting to his feet. And it is Backlund now with a wind-up forearm that stuns Buddy Rogers. They come together in the center of the ring. It's Backlund with an arm drag, taking Rogers down again. Backlund with another arm drag. This time Rogers reverses that, and it is Rogers who attempts a flying head scissors. This is a choice C maneuver, meaning that it will require a roll of 5 or lower for Rogers to succeed with the flying head scissors. Oh, and on a roll of snake eyes, he got him over and down to the canvas. Nicely executed by Buddy Rogers. And Backlund is down. Backlund getting back to his feet as Rogers moves in. And Rogers with a big pile driver. As Backlund got to his feet, Rogers was on him, picked him up and just dumped him headfirst onto the canvas. Backlund now stunned after that pile driver. Buddy Rogers in control, and he is going to go for a pin using the ropes. But the referee refuses to count that fall and forces Rogers to break the hold. Backlund getting to his feet, Rogers still on him, and Rogers drops him with another pile driver. Boy, we're seeing pile drivers left and right tonight. Buddy Rogers back in control after hitting Backlund with a pair of pile drivers, and now a big elbow drop delivered by Buddy Rogers. Backlund getting to his feet. They come together in the center of the ring, and it is Rogers attempting that forearm uppercut again. Backlund powers his way through that one, and it is Backlund who catches Buddy Rogers and gets him up for a suplex, hanging high in the air. Several seconds pass as Backlund holds Rogers overhead in an impressive show of strength before dumping Rogers to the canvas. Backlund's going to go for the cover. The pin roll is snake eyes, but on a roll of 8, Buddy Rogers kicks out, and Backlund now is back in control. Really good match we're seeing here tonight. Back and forth we go. Backlund now in control, and he goes for the one-arm gotch lift. And takes Rogers down to the canvas once again. They come back together. Backlund's going to try and roll him over into a Boston Crab. And he does get him over, but Rogers quickly makes his way to the bottom rope to force the hold to be broken. Both men getting to their feet now, and Backlund again with another big vertical suplex takes Rogers down to the canvas a second time. Backlund in control. Backlund is going to attempt a head scissors. This is a choice C maneuver, which means he can complete this on a roll of 6 or lower. But on a roll of 9, it is Rogers who powers his way out of the head scissors. And it's Rogers who comes back and dumps Backlund yet again with another pile driver. I think Rogers has seen some weakness in the head or the neck of Bob Backlund. He's trying to take advantage. He's hit him down with several pile drivers. And now Rogers is going to go back to that elbow drop. And this time, Backlund rolls out of the way of the elbow drop. Backlund now in control. Backlund rolls him over again into the Boston Crab. And again, Buddy Rogers quick to get to the ropes and force the hold to be broken. Backlund still in control as they get to their feet. And it is Backlund now who catches a hammerlock. They come to the center of the ring. Backlund holding that hammerlock. What's he going to do now? He's going to try and convert that over into a side headlock. But Rogers slips away, and Rogers takes control. Tries for a running tackle. Another power move. Backlund overpowers him again. And it is Backlund with a big forearm to the side of the head of Buddy Rogers that stuns Buddy Rogers. Rogers at a disadvantage here on that level 1 offense. He's got 2 power moves, both of which result in immediate reversals in favor of Bob Backlund. Backlund in control here. And Backlund now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Buddy Rogers, and on a roll of 10, it is a big kick by Bob Backlund that stuns Buddy Rogers. Backlund comes at him again, goes to that Boston Crab, and again, Rogers gets to the bottom rope, and Backlund unable to do full damage with that Boston Crab maneuver, as Rogers has that well scouted. They get to their feet. Here's Backlund with another whip to the ropes. He'll not be able to execute his back bridge this time, and instead on a roll of 6, it is Rogers who takes Backlund down with a running shoulder tackle. Rogers now back in control. Rogers with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Backlund. And this time on a roll of 6, it is Backlund who lifts a knee to the head of Rogers. And another reversal and another level 2 opportunity for Backlund. Backlund now tries that head scissors again. He needs 6 or lower to execute it. He gets it in place. And Buddy Rogers is hurt. Backlund following that up with a hammerlock yet again. And converting that into another attempt at a head scissors. And Rogers again able to power his way out of the head scissors. And Rogers comes back with a jumping knee smash that stuns Backlund and sends Backlund tumbling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Backlund surprisingly an A-rated brawler on the arena floor. Not what I would have done with that card, but I am not a card designer of the caliber of those who put together the Thagos Trez Hall of Fame set that we are playing with here. So Backlund has the A on the outside of the ring, and on a roll of 5, that is the double disqualification roll. Rogers will not be disqualified. Backlund will not be disqualified. We go to the odd even roll. Backlund gets the advantage on the even roll. And on a roll of 4, it is indeed Backlund who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a drop kick over the security railing. How about that? They were brawling out there, and it was Backlund who hit the drop kick onto Buddy Rogers, sending him tumbling over the security railing. Backlund back into the ring. Rogers having to hustle to meet the 10 count. And as he gets back into the ring, it is Backlund who is going to perform a baseball slide and keep Rogers out on the arena floor. We will not see any shenanigans as of yet, and we wouldn't expect that in a match of this caliber. But now on a roll of 5, it is Rogers who takes advantage. And Rogers on the arena floor drops Backlund stomach first across the security railing. Backlund now is injured on the outside. Will we see a disqualification here? No, we will not. That would have been a disappointment. Rogers now is in control as Backlund is forced to struggle back into the ring. Rogers attempts the elbow drop. Backlund again rolls away. And Backlund comes back and this time is able to successfully execute the Boston Crab. He's going to try and force a submission roll here. The submission roll is only 3 or lower. And on a roll of 10, Rogers is able to get to the ropes. But Rogers now starting to show signs of fatigue. We've gone back and forth, but Rogers has taken significantly more damage. Backlund now in control. And Backlund goes to that one-arm gotch lift once again to maintain control and now move that into a hammerlock. Back to the center of the ring we go. And this time Backlund with a fireman's carry over into an armbar. Buddy Rogers down to the mat, trying to find his way out of this submission technical move executed by Backlund. Backlund follows that up with another big wind-up forearm as Rogers gets to his feet. Rogers is stunned. Backlund with another big forearm smash. Rogers reeling backwards against the ropes. Rogers comes off the ropes and Backlund catches him again in the hammerlock. And as they come together now, it is Backlund with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Buddy Rogers, and on a roll of 9, it is another big kick by Bob Backlund that stuns Buddy Rogers. Backlund maintains control. Backlund with another hammerlock. This time Rogers reverses the hammerlock and maneuvers that into a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Bob Backlund. And on a roll of 9, it is a running back elbow from Buddy Rogers that stuns Bob Backlund. As we say hello to Neil Lau now in the chat room. Good evening to you, sir. We have got a back and forth battle going here between Buddy Rogers and Bob Backlund with the Patriot Heavyweight Championship on the line in tonight's main event. Rogers now in control, hits a series of drop kicks that sends Backlund reeling backwards. Another series of drop kicks. Backlund on the defensive. Rogers follows that up with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Backlund, and on a roll of 7, it is Backlund who grabs the arm and reverses the whip, sending Rogers into the turnbuckle. And this time it is Rogers who catches Backlund charging in with a knee to the head. Rogers maintains control, and Rogers now with a jumping knee smash that stuns Backlund. Backlund is down. Rogers is in control here. Can he finally do some damage? He is going to go out of the ring and down to the arena floor we go. Backlund trying to get out. Rogers prevents that. Rogers wants him to stay in the ring, and Rogers hits him with a pile driver and now goes for the cover. The pin roll is only a 1, so we don't need to roll that, but Backlund has suffered his first point of fatigue, and Rogers is in control. And now Rogers goes to the figure 4 grapevine. The grapevine is his finisher. It is a +4 finisher. So Backlund will have to give it up on a roll of 6 or lower, and on a roll of 3, he got it. Wow, great match. Buddy Rogers on the defensive for good parts of that match before he finally comes up with the figure 4 grapevine and forces Backlund to tap out to successfully retain the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. Congratulations to Buddy Rogers. The fans are booing. They do not like this character, Buddy Rogers, especially compared to the very popular Bob Backlund. But Rogers is the man of the hour here tonight in Philadelphia after that successful, hard-fought title defense over the former Patriot champion Bob Backlund. And that is where we will wrap things up for tonight. Next week, we'll be back on the station. Great main event indeed. I enjoyed rolling that out. Next week, we will be on the channel with the Atlantic Wrestling Federation coming to you live from Orlando. And the main event will be the aforementioned #1 contenders match for the NWA Tag Team Championship as the Fantastics do battle with the Midnight Express. Also on the card next week, a no disqualification grudge match pitting Jack Briscoe against Kevin Sullivan. That should be a money match indeed. As we bid farewell to everybody in the chat room, Salvador America, thank you for joining us. What a devastating move, that figure 4 grapevine. Neil Lau, Frank Wainscott, Carl Zilla, D. Scott Howard, Derek Bauman, all made their presence felt here in the Dave Cave tonight. We thank you all for a great time, a fun show. And in the words of our good friend RJL, please leave a like on your way out through the turnstile. For those of you who are so inclined, we will be on the channel tomorrow morning with another episode of My Journey with Jesus. And we'll be back on the channel next Saturday, probably a little earlier in the day. We have an evening wedding to go to, but I should be able to get on earlier in the day with action from Atlantic Wrestling Federation. So thank you all once again for everybody who tuned in tonight. From the Dave Cave, this is Dave Little signing off. That's our stream, and I am out of here.